The phone buzzed on the kitchen counter, its screen glowing in the dim light of our apartment. I glanced over, expecting another wedding vendor confirmation, flowers, catering, something mundane. Instead, it was her phone, not mine, lighting up a name I hadn't seen in years. Evan. My stomach twisted, a faint, instinctive lurch, like stepping on a stair that wasn't there. Why was her ex texting her at 11:43 p.m., 3 weeks before our wedding? Clara was in the shower, the faint hum of water, muffling her off-key humming. I didn't touch her phone, never had, never needed to. But the notification lingered on the screen, a single line. Can we talk? Just once before it's too late. My pulse quickened, not out of jealousy, not yet, but from the sheer oddity of it. Evan had been gone for years, a ghost from her college days, someone she laughed off as ancient history. So why now? Why too late? I turned back to the dishes, scrubbing a plate harder than necessary, trying to shake the unease. The water shut off, and Clara emerged, wrapped in a towel, her damp hair clinging to her shoulders. "You okay, Nate?" she asked, her voice light but her eyes catching mine for a fraction too long, like she was searching for something. "Yeah," I said, forcing a smile. "Just tired. Long day." I didn't mention the text. I wanted to see if she would. She didn't. Instead, she padded to the counter, picked up her phone, and swiped the notification away without a word. Her fingers moved too quickly, too deliberately. My chest tightened, but I kept my voice steady. "Everything good?" Her head snapped up, a flicker of something, guilt, fear, crossing her face before she smiled. "Just work stuff. You know how it is." She kissed my cheek, her lips cool from the shower, and disappeared into the bedroom. The lie hung in the air, sharp and metallic, like blood in my mouth. Over the next few days, I watched her, not obsessively, not at first, just small things. The way she angled her phone away when she typed, the way she laughed too loudly at nothing, the way her eyes darted to the door when her phone buzzed. Each moment was a pinprick, not enough to bleed, but enough to sting. I told myself I was being paranoid. Clara loved me. She'd chosen me. The ring on her finger, the one I'd spent 6 months' salary on, proved that, didn't it? Then on a rainy Thursday, she broke. We were curled up on the couch, half watching some true crime documentary, when she turned to me, her face pale, her hands twisting in her lap. "Nate," she said, her voice barely above a whisper, "I need to tell you something." My heart stopped, then thudded hard, like a fist against my ribs. I nodded, unable to speak, bracing for whatever was coming. "Evan reached out," she said, her eyes fixed on the coffee table. He wanted to see me. Just once. Before the wedding." Her words were careful, rehearsed, each one a stone dropped into still water, rippling outward. "Why?" My voice was steady, but inside I was unraveling. "Why now? Why him? Why her?" She swallowed, her fingers knotting tighter. "He says he needs closure. He's been struggling, and I don't know, Nate. I feel like I owe him that much. We ended so badly, and I just..." She stopped, her eyes meeting mine, pleading, "I need to do this. For me. To close that chapter before we start ours." I wanted to scream. I wanted to grab her by the shoulders and demand why she thought she owed him anything, why his pain mattered more than mine. But I didn't. I sat there, silent, my mind racing through 1,000 scenarios, her laughing with him, touching him, remembering him. The betrayal wasn't physical, not yet, but it was there, coiled in her words, in the way she couldn't look at me for long. "Okay," I said finally, my voice hollow. "If that's what you need." Her face softened, relief flooding her eyes. "Thank you, Nate. It's just one night. It doesn't mean anything." She reached for my hand, but I pulled away, standing up. "I'm going for a walk," I said, grabbing my jacket. She didn't stop me. The rain soaked through my shoes as I wandered the city, my thoughts a tangled mess of rage and heartbreak. I imagined her with him, in some dimly lit bar, her hand brushing his, her laugh echoing the way it used to when we first met. I imagined worse things, too. Things I couldn't shake, things that made my chest ache like it was caving in. But beneath the pain was something colder, sharper, clarity. She'd asked for one last night with him, and I'd given it to her. But what did that make me? By the time I got home, the apartment was dark, her shoes gone from the entryway. She'd left a note, back late. Love you. The words felt like a mockery, a bandage on a wound she'd carved herself. I sat on the couch, staring at the note, the hours ticking by. Midnight. 1, 2. My phone stayed silent. No texts, no calls. Just the hum of the fridge and the distant wail of a siren outside. At 3:17 a.m., I made a decision. Not out of spite, not out of rage, but out of a quiet, bone-deep certainty. I packed a bag, clothes, laptop, a few books. I left the apartment key on the counter next to her note. I didn't write anything. What was there to say? She'd made her choice, and now I was making mine. I drove to a motel on the edge of town, the kind with flickering neon signs and cigarette burns on the carpet. I didn't sleep. I sat on the lumpy bed, staring at my phone, half expecting her to call, to beg, to explain. She didn't. By morning, I blocked her number, deleted her from my socials, and booked a one-way ticket to a city I'd never been to. A clean break, surgical, final. Weeks later, a mutual friend told me she'd been devastated, cried at anyone who'd listened about how I'd abandoned her. She'd gone to Evan that night, just to talk, she swore, but he'd tried to kiss her and she'd left horrified. She'd come home to an empty apartment, my key glinting under the kitchen light. She didn't understand why I'd left without a word. I didn't owe her an explanation. She'd asked for one last night, and I'd given it to her. Then I gave myself something better, a future without her shadow.